with a video on enhanced athlete and research chemical websites and their products. What are they? Well, these are chemicals that are generally used for as drugs, as medicine, and they're sold as for research purposes only. Yeah, right. Everybody knows what they're being used for. They're being used for people who want to use these chemicals but are prevented from doing so by law, by government. Unfortunately, we have a nanny state. Laws prevent us from even getting. It's impossible to get your own lab work, your blood work, your X-rays. You have to go through the gatekeeper of the medical establishment, which gets all its accreditation through the medical schools, which are all pharmaceutically funded, and then there's the insurance companies that also play a big factor in gatekeeping as well. Everything's super expensive, extremely restricted, not free. If you want medicine, you can't get it. So we can try to get it as a research chemical, and then try to use that research chemical as medicine, which is generally what people might want to do for their legitimate needs. Unfortunately, these websites are not very reliable, and we're talking here about this Exemestane, advertised as a concentration of 25 milligrams per milliliter, 30 milliliters. That's a lie. That's products sold by enhancedathlete.com. They've been contacted multiple times about the problem. The problem is that it is not, if you pull it 1 milliliter out of there, are you going to get 25 milligrams of Exemestane? No, you're not. And the reason for that, if you can see down at the bottom, is there's a bunch of sediment down there. So that is what is it? Well, we don't know. Maybe it's the Exemestane. So Exemestane is fat soluble. It dissolves in alcohol to about 20 milligrams per milliliter. It's not water soluble, practically insoluble in water, and it doesn't smell like alcohol to me. But I really don't know what's in the bottle. All I know is that it's not in solution. If whatever it is in the bottom is the Exemestane, then no dose can be guaranteed. Now they did put a little broken English, misspelled, silly warning label, disclaimer, right on the label in tiny 4-point font that nobody can read. It says something like, yeah, this right there is at the top. It says, warning. And basically what it says is that it crystallizes, and you got to shake it, and you got to shake it again, and you got to put it in a cup of hot water, and then shake it some more. It's just nonsense. It's not going to change Exemestane's properties of being fat soluble, and suddenly warm up to being water soluble. It doesn't work that way. So, so I contacted customer service. They told me that they don't, they only deal with orders. And they told me that I should contact Coach Ken at Enhanced Athlete. So Coach Ken ignored me as well. And then I called back and I said, yeah, what about this product here? Tell me what's in your product. And they said, oh, yeah, you need to email to Kevin at Enhanced Athlete. And Kevin also ignored. Contacted multiple times, leaving messages on the YouTube channel. Say, hey, it looks like you guys had a mistake. And put a warning label on the package and the product, acknowledging the mistake, that they fouled up. Most likely what they did is they fouled up with an entire batch because they didn't know what they were doing. And instead of trying to dissolve it in alcohol, which is possible, they tried to dissolve it in some, I don't know, water. Who knows what else is in there. And the bottom line, the punchline to that email is, please tell me what is in this bottle. I need to know everything that's in here. Right? Because otherwise, we don't even know what it is. First of all, no dose can be guaranteed. You can shake it up and you could get a slightly more even dispersion than having the sediment and the liquid, but that's not a concentration. So the label right off the bat is a lie. That label is lying. It is dishonest. They've been informed of this by email. Like, this label is completely inaccurate. It is not in solution, and because it is not in solution, no dose can be guaranteed, and no concentration can be ascertained by a mixture, right? It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. You can't just say in a certain amount of mixture, you're going to get a certain amount of drug versus liquid. Whereas with a solution, you can 100% get that accuracy. And that's why it could be useful for research. On the other hand, with this, it cannot be useful for research. And that, unfortunately, delegitimizes their only loophole, which is for research purposes only. So now they've basically shot themselves in the foot, and they've basically said to their customers, screw you, we don't care. If you have a problem with our product, too bad, because we're just going to lie to everybody and tell them that we're selling a legitimate product, when in fact we don't even care about the legitimacy of our product or the customers who have been ripped off by our product. So this is the kind of people that we're dealing with Enhanced Athlete. Ethically, completely dishonest, as far as being, like freedom fighters and lovers of freedom. You can't be a lover of freedom if you're a liar. People who are being lied to are misinformed, and they're not given a full understanding, so therefore they cannot be acting freely, because they're acting in a misguided fashion. And the misguidance has come from the false advertising and the lies that are printed on the website, published on the website, printed on the bottle. That's the problem with Enhanced Athlete. Now, does that mean other research chemical websites are good? No. This is the problem now. We have a demand that is not going to go away. This comes to demand elasticity. When you get to a baseline, when you get to black market, you're going to find that there will be demand, that a certain level of demand is not going to go away, that exorbitant prices can be charged, that quality can suffer, and that demand will still be there. Unfortunately, this is the situation that Enhanced Athlete is benefiting massively from the fact that these chemicals are illegal. Were it not for the government, Enhanced Athlete would not be in business, because legitimate producers could actually sell this product for legitimate human use and say, this is exactly what's in the bottle, and if it's not what's in the bottle, obviously what's going to happen. Take cough syrup, for example. Buy cough syrup, and say all the medicine was in the bottom, and they put some tiny 4-point font, broken English, misspelled baloney on the label that said, you better shake it, put it in water, heat it up and shake it, and then shake it again, which is essentially what that says. You can, if you can grok that way, it's very difficult to read, but that's what it says. And then somebody else said they took it and they got to the bottom of the bottle, all the medicine was there, and they got the last shot, but it wasn't working until they got to the end, and then they overdosed, or they gave it to their kid who keeled over and died. Obviously, people are going to be in a whole lot of trouble in America, because there will be lawsuits. People are going to say, I was injured because of this product, and I now am suing. Whereas with this research purposes only, Enhanced Athlete has done their very best to avoid any possible responsibility for the harm that they are causing the consumer, right? Because it's not as if you're informed, you're misinformed. It's not as if the consumer can make an informed decision. The opposite is true. The consumer is being lied to. And any consumer who's buying these products is being misinformed by the idea that shaking it is going to magically cause Exemestane to become water soluble and to dissolve in whatever it is that they've tried to dissolve it in, which is not alcohol. It doesn't smell like alcohol. It's not alcohol. Bottom line, it doesn't dissolve. Bottom line, they will not disclose the ingredients for their product. Bottom line, they assume no responsibility. Bottom line, they're lying to you. They're profiting. They're taking advantage of the government, of the laws that allow them to flourish as a black market under somewhat illegal gray area of legality business. That's my take on bodybuilding research chemicals and their websites, and Enhanced Athlete specifically. Enhanced Athlete is extremely officious, because they have this sort of freedom fighter a bit of marketing where they want to say that they are lovers of freedom. So they in particular are a special kind of officiousness, and so I think that they're more deserving of this than the other crooks who are quite obviously black market and quite obviously don't give a shit. Enhanced Athlete actually pretends to give a shit, and unfortunately has fooled a few other people, such as the Broken Back Fitness website, who, you know, the guy not very smart, but obviously a fan and obviously promoting promoting the Enhanced Athlete products quite a bit. So, you know, that's definitely, you know, definitely have that problem too, is that they try to lie to people and they take advantage of the laws, and then they're able to fool people who are, you know, Enhanced Athlete. The guy is probably not that smart, maybe average intelligence, 120 or so, but he's able to fool people who are not as intelligent as he is, which unfortunately happens to be a very large number of people in this world. So that's what you have to deal with. You have to deal with people who are just average intelligence, dishonest to themselves, to the world, taking advantage and lying to the rest of the people. That's why Enhanced Athlete in particular is extremely officious. Thank you for watching.